name is Noel Herron. I'm a former Vancouver principal and school trustee. First of all, I'd like to thank and congratulate the Parent Advocacy Group for organising this meeting, and Alex for your excellent paper. You had a screenshot up there that said, VSB budget explained and shortfalls explained. And the title of Alex's paper is, What's the Real Story Behind BC Public Funding? Well, I have a question. What's the real story behind the VSB current investigation of its shortfall? And it's quite simple. It goes directly into the political agenda. The government of this province wouldn't dare have an independent, arm's length, and a broad mandated investigation. Currently, the VSB is the province is about to pay $800,000 for the third back-to-back investigation. By the time the current investigation, chaired by a deputy minister from the finance department, if ever there was an insider, my God, they wouldn't dare have an arm's length, independent, broadly mandated investigation because it would be a searching and critical analysis of the government's record. Now, we have the largest, finally, school board in this province. It used to be the largest, most complex, most diverse, multicultural school system. It is one of 60 that one size fits all, absolutely stupid way of funding school systems. Mm-hmm. The current government wouldn't dare look at the formula. That's one part of it. And that's why we're dealing with this. I want to put that question as part of this. Maybe it's outside the milieu of this meeting, but it's certainly germane to what's going on right now.
Thanks,
Thank
Noel.
you.
Thank you. Do you want to make a
Sure.
comment?
I mean, I can't speak to political motivations, but what I can talk about is that the Select Standing Committee on Finance, which Andrea referred to, which has gone around the province, it goes around the province every year. It will be doing it again September, October this coming year. This coming fall. You can register to speak. They'll be in Vancouver on September 19th. Or you can send them a written submission or even a video. Well, they had video submissions last year. I assume they'll have them again this year. So that is one way to give input. But you're talking about investigations, and that it's not nonpartisan, in your opinion. This is an audit that is being made of the Vancouver School Board's finances, given the current situation. And as you mentioned, it is the third audit in 2 or 3 years, I believe. What we at FACE and several other people have been calling for is a Royal Commission or other impartial investigation, or I don't want to use the word investigation, but a commission that looks into the situation that we're in and that reevaluates the funding formula, because that is the root of many of the problems that we have today. Is the per pupil funding model is not working. As Alex said, you have the same costs year in and year out, but if you lose, well, actually you have increasing costs every year, but if you lose a couple of kids from each school, you have to do the same with less. And it is not working, and it's become clear that the government has recognized that, given the piecemeal funding that we've seen announced this spring and summer. So there's been, clearly they're recognizing that closing 250 schools across the province in the last 15 years, mainly rural schools, hasn't gone down very well, and we're losing more schools. So there's been this sort of piecemeal funding specifically for rural schools. So what we are saying is we would like to see an impartial review of the funding formula for public education, and we would like to go back to the basics. We want to have a broad societal discussion. What is public education? What do we want it to do? How do we want to do it? How much does that cost? And how are we going to pay for it? Because clearly what we have now isn't working. And I mentioned the Select Standing Committee on Finance. They have recommended that the funding model be reviewed. And we fully support that recommendation. And when I present to them in September, I will encourage them to make that recommendation even stronger again, because all we have seen since they made that recommendation last November is further problems and fallout from this funding model that is not working and needs to be replaced. And we need to have an impartial body look at this. We need to have buy-in from all the various parties, all the various stakeholders. And the problem that we have in BC education is that the stakeholders can barely even sit at the same table. They look at the government and the teachers union basically just act like they're enemies. And that isn't good for our kids and for our society. And we need to have an impartial group that is trusted by all, so that we can all review and come up with something that works better for the future, because what we have now isn't working. And this audit that the Vancouver School Board is going through is a symptom of the problem, which is that there is not enough funding and the funding formula is broken. So we would like to see that change. And if you would like to tell the Select Standing Committee on Finance that you support their call for a review, I strongly encourage you to do that. Thank you.